Hello and welcome back to our channel. I'm Colleen and this is Katie and this is Our Blessed Life, and today we're going to do a requested video which is 5 things that we got right in homeschooling according to my daughter.
Love changes every heart, and any heart can change you.
So a couple of months ago, we put up a video called My 5 Biggest Regrets in Homeschooling, and I will link that up top and down in the description box below. But in that video, I had some of y'all comment to do this video, and a few of you actually contact me on Instagram. It was either Instagram or email, and mentioned the same idea, so I decided it was a good one to do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So Katie and I talked together and we came up with 5 things that we think that we did get right in homeschooling. The first one is listening to the call to homeschool. So we were not one of the families that decided from the beginning to homeschool. Katie was actually having difficulties in public school in 2nd grade, and actually the idea to homeschool was Katie's.
I have no idea how that happened because I don't remember, and I have no idea where I would hear the word homeschool from.
Yeah, she must have heard it at school, but she was in 2nd grade and there was some like bullying and just, I don't know. I think Katie learns a different way, and so some of the things they were doing in school just weren't really clicking with her. And as y'all know, she's a really good student, but it just really wasn't showing up, I guess, in 2nd grade. And so she just kept telling me, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. I just want to stay home. Can't we homeschool? Can't we do school at home? And for me, that was one of those things that I just didn't have any kind of knowledge about. I didn't know anything about it. I was working full-time and had actually just started our consulting firm, and I was the only employee of our consulting firm at that time. And so I was thinking, how in the world would that work? So after a lot of research and prayer, we ended up deciding to homeschool, and we ended up basically flipping our lives upside down to make homeschooling work, because Katie was only in 2nd grade. We did wait till the end of 2nd grade to pull her out of public school, which is one of my 5, that was one of the 5 biggest regrets, was not pulling her out in the middle of the school year. But I'll talk about that more in that video. But at the end of 2nd grade, we started making moves within our family, just doing things to set us up to be able to do homeschooling in 3rd grade. And one of the things was that Gary left his full-time job that he had in a different industry, and he came to work with me in the consulting firm that I had started, and started learning the business more. He already knew it some, but learning the business more and kind of getting to the point where he could take over some of the management responsibilities and roles and that kind of thing in the business, so that I could have more time to homeschool. And ultimately that was a great blessing to our family. We definitely feel like the Lord led us to homeschool, and I definitely feel like the Lord blessed that with us following that call, because eventually we were able to hire 2 additional employees, and I can't remember if that was the same year of Katie's 3rd grade year or if that was the next year. But yeah, I'm glad that we decided to homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever at any point wanted to go back to public school or any other type of schooling?
At the time, at certain times, yes. Like, I feel like when I left classical conversations in a 9th grade, I feel like going to public high school was a consideration, but it was never a huge consideration.
We actually moved that year too, to a new neighborhood, and we really talked about whether Katie would go to public high school, and that wasn't something that Gary and I necessarily wanted, but it was a choice that we wanted to give to Katie. So we never wanted to, we just don't hold so tight to homeschooling that we wouldn't give it up if we felt like the Lord was leading another way. So we just wanted to make sure that if Katie wanted to go to public high school, then she could go. The second thing that Katie thinks we got right in homeschooling is keeping a relaxed schedule. So the first thing that we did that really gave us a relaxed schedule was stopping classical conversations in the middle of Katie's 9th grade year, So some of the things that we didn't like about how it affected our schedule was, first of all, there were assignments and things that I would not have necessarily picked for Katie, but we still needed to do them in order for her to participate in the class. We also had subjects that we wouldn't necessarily have chosen for ourselves, like Latin, but if Katie didn't do those subjects, it was really difficult to participate in class, and it would be really boring for her. So stopping classical conversations really helped with our ability to choose curriculum. That was more what Katie wanted to do, right? And along those lines, with keeping a more flexible schedule, another thing that we've done that I think has really helped Katie is I've always allowed Katie to block schedule. So if she wants to spend more time working on a certain subject, because if you have like a large paper or project, then you can continue and do what you feel like you need to do versus having to stop because, okay, you still have these other 5 things to get done today. And that also kind of goes hand in hand with how we schedule our week, which we use Homeschool Planet for homeschool scheduling. That's just an online homeschool planner. I do have a link in the description box below for a free 30-day trial if that's something that you're interested in. But what we do is we schedule everything in advance, and then Katie looks at her entire week to determine what she's going to do. So she doesn't necessarily have to do what's on Monday. She can take that week and do what she wants to with it. Our goal is just to be finished with the week by Friday, and if we're not, it means that we work over the weekend, unless it's something we can easily move forward to the next week. The third thing that the third thing that Katie thinks is something that we got right in homeschooling is letting her pick her own curriculum. Now, I think she would be overwhelmed if I was like, Katie, go pick out your curriculum for the year. So I've never done it like that. I've always done the research, and I will come to her with several different options of maybe history or, you know, whatever the subject is, and then I allow her to have the final say. So we've done that. We've really done that for every subject. We did it for math, and you decided to switch to Shorman. We did it for science. You decided you liked Shorman, so you wanted to switch. We did it for history. I gave her numerous different options for economics and government, and she went with Abeka. And then for world history and American history, you picked master books. And we looked at Knotgrass, and what was the other one? Was it Abeka? Knotgrass and Abeka. Yeah. And she chose master books for that. So I definitely feel like if you have a high school student or an older homeschool student, that allowing them to have some choice in what the materials they are using is definitely helpful. Fourth thing that Katie feels like we got right in homeschooling is allowing her to block schedule her time. So like I talked about before, we use Homeschool Planet to schedule our weeks, and Katie will go into that week and she blocks schedules by just doing, like if she's got a big paper, she just spends several hours on that paper and then maybe pushes another subject to the next day. Again, as long as we get everything done by the end of the week, we worry more about the week, but that does give her the flexibility to block schedule. If she wants to spend several hours on an honors project for science, then she can do that versus worrying about getting like all 5 or 6 subjects in for that day.
This especially is helpful when it's towards the end of the year, and I've had other subjects drop off. And what I mainly have left is large papers or honors projects. So the block scheduling is definitely helpful then.
Yeah, it's just the way that she prefers to work. So I think just giving her the flexibility as a high school student, even middle school. You did this even in middle school. You've done this a long time. You might have even started this before middle school. But it's just the way that she prefers to work. So just giving her that flexibility to work the way she wants to has definitely been something that's helped our homeschool. And then the last thing that Katie and I discussed that Katie thinks that we got right in homeschooling is putting relationships over academics. So this is something that I think I had to learn in homeschooling, especially because we didn't start homeschooling from the beginning. Like I said, we started homeschooling Katie in 2nd grade. And I think in 3rd grade, the first year that we did homeschool in the summer between 2nd and 3rd grade. But I think in the middle of that 3rd grade year, this is when I really learned that, you know, this is a great opportunity to really put the relationship first and not worry as much about academics. And so what I mean by that is, you know, you're going to have bad days in homeschooling. I mean, there's going to be bad days. And when you have bad days, don't worry as much about checking off the boxes and getting everything done, because you could always move it to another day. You know, and if your child needs to talk, or, you know, something else is wrong, don't force the academics, or maybe give everybody a break and go back to it. But that's something that we've really found helpful for homeschooling, because we've definitely had bad days, right? Every day's not the perfect day.
No.
And Sophie has that as well, and I've just found that it just never works great to try to push a kid who, you know, if they're crying or frustrated or whatever, it just really never works. And it's really not about checking the boxes anyway. It's more about the heart of your child. I hope these 5 things that we got right in homeschooling were helpful for you. Let us know in the comments below, what are some things that you feel like you got right? If you talk to your kids, or if you just think to yourself, what are some things that you love about how you homeschool? Let us know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.